Paul Samuelson, 1970. Paul Samuelson was like a superstar teacher who helped everyone understand how money and business work. He wrote a book that many students use to learn economics, making it easier for people to understand how countries handle money, how prices change, and why people buy certain things. Samuelson was great at taking complicated ideas and making them simple, which helped shape how economics is taught and understood today. Milton Friedman, 1976. Milton Friedman was a very important thinker who believed that people should have the freedom to choose how to spend their money. He thought that when people can make their own choices, it helps everyone in the economy. Friedman also studied how money affects things like jobs and prices. His ideas were a big deal because they changed how people think about the government's role in managing the country's money. Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love. Herbert A. Simon, 1978. Imagine you're the boss of a big company, but you can't know everything or make perfect decisions. Herbert Simon explained why this happens. He said that people, including bosses, have limits to how much information they can handle and how many choices they can consider. He showed that people try to make good decisions with the information they have, which is often not perfect. This idea helped us understand how decisions are made in businesses and other places. James Tobin, 1981. James Tobin was interested in how money moves in the economy. He came up with ideas about how banks should work and how people should invest their money to help the economy grow without causing problems like high prices. Tobin's ideas were important because they helped governments and banks think about the best ways to handle money to avoid big economic problems. Franco Modigliani, 1985. Think about when you save money to buy something big in the future or how your grandparents save for retirement. Franco Modigliani looked into why and how people save money at different times in their lives. He explained that people try to balance their spending so they can have a comfortable life now and also when they get older. His ideas helped us understand how savings affect the whole economy. Robert M. Solow, 1987. Robert Solow helped us understand what makes countries' economies grow. He showed that not just more workers or more machines, but also new ideas and better ways of doing things are important for growth. This means that to help a country's economy grow, we need to focus on education, technology, and innovation, not just on more factories or workers. John Nash, Reinhard Selten, John Harsanyi, 1994. These three scientists helped us understand something called game theory, which is like the strategy behind decisions people make when they are influenced by what others decide. Imagine you and your friends are choosing teams for a game, and you try to guess who they will pick to strategize your choice. Nash, Selten, and Harsanyi developed ways to analyze these situations, helping us understand how people, businesses, and even countries make strategic decisions in real-life situations. Robert E. Lucas Jr., 1995. Robert Lucas taught us how people's expectations about the future affect the economy today. For example, if people think prices will go up in the future, they might start buying more things now, which can actually cause prices to rise. His work showed that when making policies, governments need to consider what people expect will happen, not just what is happening right now. Amartya Sen, 1998. Amartya Sen looked at economics in a way that's not just about money but about making people's lives better. He focused on what people need to live well, like education and health, and argued that a country is truly rich only if its people are well and can do what they value. His ideas helped change how we think about what makes a country successful and how we measure true wealth beyond just money. Joseph E. Stiglitz, George A. Akerlof, and Michael Spence, 2001. These three economists studied situations where one person in a deal knows more than the other, like when a car seller knows about a hidden problem in a car but the buyer does not. They showed how this asymmetric information can make markets work poorly and suggested ways to make things more fair, like having laws that require sellers to share all information about a product. Daniel Kahneman, Vernon L. Smith, 2002. Daniel Kahneman and Vernon Smith mixed psychology with economics, showing that people don't always make decisions logically. Emotions and other factors can influence choices. Kahneman looked at how people make decisions under uncertainty, like choosing insurance or gambling. Smith created experiments to study how people behave in markets, proving that real-life economic behavior often differs from what theories predict. Robert J. Shiller, Eugene F. Fama, Lars Peter Hansen, 2013. These three economists studied how the prices of things like stocks and houses can change a lot over time. Fama showed that stock prices are very hard to predict in the short term because they already reflect all known information. Shiller showed that prices can often be influenced by people's emotions and can stray from their true value. Hansen developed ways to statistically analyze and understand these movements in the market. Jean Tirole, 2014. Jean Tirole looked into how big companies that don't have much competition can still be regulated to behave fairly. He studied industries where there are only a few powerful players, like telecommunications, and suggested ways that governments can prevent these companies from being unfair to consumers while still encouraging them to innovate and grow. Angus Deaton, 2015. Angus Deaton researched how individual decisions about buying and health affect wider economic trends. He showed how the choices people make about things like what to eat or how much to save are influenced by their income and wealth, and how these choices in turn shape the economy. His work helps us understand the link between personal decisions and global economic health. Richard H. Thaler, 2017. Richard Thaler is one of the founders of behavioral economics, which studies how not-so-rational decisions affect economic theories and practices. He showed how people's habits and mistakes can predict economic outcomes. For instance, Thaler explained why people save too little for retirement and how using psychology can help make better economic policies and personal financial decisions. Paul M. Romer, William D. Nordhaus, 2018. Paul Romer and William Nordhaus won the Nobel Prize for looking at big problems in different ways. Paul Romer studied how new ideas lead to technological advances that can make economies grow faster. He said that governments should encourage more research and development because new knowledge helps everyone and leads to better products and services. William Nordhaus focused on the environment and showed how economic growth affects our planet. He developed models to understand the true cost of climate change and argued that putting a price on carbon emissions, like a tax, could help reduce them and encourage cleaner energy use. Esther Duflo, Abhijit Banerjee, Michael Kramer, 2019. Esther Duflo, Abhijit Banerjee, and Michael Kramer used real-world experiments to find the best ways to help people lift themselves out of poverty. They tested different approaches in education, health, and farming in small trials, like scientists testing medicines, to see what really works. For example, they found that providing extra tutoring in healthcare in schools helped children learn more. Their work shows that even big problems like poverty can be tackled with small, proven steps. Paul R. Milgram, Robert B. Wilson, 2020. Paul Milgram and Robert Wilson studied auctions, which are ways of buying and selling goods or services by bidding. They looked into what kinds of auction designs lead to the best outcomes, like selling things for the highest possible price or making sure that goods and services are provided in the most efficient way. Their work has been used to design better auctions for things like radio frequencies, which are important for mobile phones and other communications technologies. David Card, Joshua D. Angrist, Guido W. Imbens, 2021. David Card, Joshua Angrist, and Guido Imbens developed ways to study what causes things to happen in the economy, using data from the real world. For example, David Card studied how higher minimum wages and immigration affect jobs and wages. Angrist and Imbens created methods that help economists use real-life situations to find these cause and effect relationships, almost like experiments that happen naturally. Their work helps us understand the impact of policies on people's lives without having to do controlled experiments. Ben S. Bernanke, Douglas W. Diamond, Philip H. Dybvig, 2022. Ben Bernanke, Douglas Diamond, and Philip Dybvig studied why banks are important and what happens when they fail. They explained how banks help keep the economy stable by lending money to businesses and individuals. Diamond and Dybvig showed that banks need to manage the risk of people all trying to withdraw their money at once, which can cause a bank to fail. Bernanke studied how problems in banking can lead to bigger economic crises. Their work is important for making sure banks are safe and can help prevent big economic problems like the Great Depression.